And we're back. All right, I know it's been a minute since I've come on here and done any kind of content. I had those couple videos I did, woo woo and whatever the other one was, but I really wanted to wait until I got to the point where I was like 14 days into sobriety or 7 days into sobriety and be able to speak on that positive front, like, look at me, I'm doing the stuff I'm supposed to be doing. Because, when you have a channel that's basically centered around doing self-improvement and beating vices, and you're not doing that, well, it just don't look too good, does it? But I am Real Deal Phil, so I might as well come on here and say what's going on. That's been the core reason that I haven't come on here, is because I was in my mind, well, I'll just wait till I get there and then I'll be good. I'm never going to stop making these videos. I don't foresee that happening at all. And I am glad that I'm able to use this form of content to track my progress. I can look back in the future. It's kind of like a journal. I mean, it is a journal. It's a video journal. And I've mentioned that before. I think it's a great tool because, if you're on a track of trying to improve whatever level or whatever aspect of your life, and you have some way to kind of hold yourself accountable, i.e. the YouTube channel or journaling or whatever, it's if you go a little ways without doing it, the back of your mind's like, come on, you got to put your entry in, you got to fucking talk. So let's list my excuses, because that's all it is, right? It's either action or excuses. Where's your discipline? What are you doing? Me? What am I doing? Oh, well, drinking and smoking. I know, it's not good. I think for me, a big portion of it, I was on a really solid track leading into last year, doing really, really well. Then Karma passed away, my dog, which she was, it's always been just me and her. I've had girlfriends here and there, but as far as longevity, it's always been me and Karma. So that was a rough way to start the year. Then the pandemic stuff started happening. And because of the way the media puts out shit, it makes it kind of scary. So I don't think I'm the only person who was kind of like fucking uneasy, throughout the beginning of 2020, if not the majority or at least some period of it, piggybacking off of losing my dog, right? So I started doing what I always say is not the thing to do. And I saw a cartoon that made me think of me, a little cartoon meme, and it's got, it's like Japanimation, and this girl is pointing out a step to the person behind her, and she's like, watch your step, and then the next slide, she busts her ass on the step, so that's kind of me, I think. But in any event, a lot of things in general are easier said than done, and so I resorted to my old ways, or I started to resort to my old ways. And what really kicked it off was down here in Florida, summer starts kicking off a little bit early for us. And, I wasn't really working because of the pandemic. So I was also concerned about how that was going to work, figuring out unemployment, whatever. And what am I going to do? So how about you just grab a few beers and go to the pool, Phil? That sounds like a good idea to me. And it was a lot of fun. Going to the pool and drinking beer. Damn near every day, I think. At least 3 times a week, I was just drinking at the pool. I'd have friends come over, hang out, throw the football around, the sun, the vitamin D. And, it's fun to just drink at the pool. I don't know, it's my thing. Drinking and smoking at the pool. Good stuff. But as we all know, doing these things, drinking and smoking, using vices, whatever, as a way to disconnect from our outside world is not a good recipe. It can be fun from time to time, but the shit catches up to you, and eventually you hit a wall. And it's like I hit that wall, and I started correcting my shit, started getting the improvement, started doing all the things I want to do, and then I get knocked off my horse, by all these events, right? Could I have been stronger and actually held my ground? Yeah. But I've also never been faced with these things that were happening. It's like brand new stuff, and sure, probably a test from the universe, I guess. And if so, I don't want to say I failed, but in a sense I did. But it's okay. We learn from our failures as long as we recognize what's going on. We see the big picture. Try to step outside and look at ourselves from a bird's eye view and learn from our mistakes. So I have learned, and I have been learning still. I'm still way further along than I've ever been in terms of just overall mentality and spirituality and just everything, like what kind of food I eat, that sort of thing. I mean, I still make mistakes there, but I'm doing way better on all these counts than I ever have before. But I could be doing a lot better. A lot better. And I will get back to it. I'm going to continue to do this shit. I'm not going to stop making these videos. I want to keep holding myself accountable so that I have to make these changes. I don't have to, but it's like I feel it's my purpose. I think that regardless of what religion or whatever you believe in, if you don't believe in God or anything, that you got to have a purpose. There's got to be something, that you're meant to do or that you are passionate about doing. And I would say this is it. It's just I'm kicking and screaming. It's the same thing as my little profile photo thing that I have where it's like, the new me is like the cartoon version, dragging the hand of the old me, and the old me is like, I don't want to go anywhere. Oh, we got to go. We got to go. We got to continue. We got to thrive for our health, wealth, and prosperity, for our love of ourselves. That's the biggest thing is, do we love ourselves? Do I love myself? I don't speak negatively about myself. I don't have negative inner dialogue. Sometimes I think about worst case scenarios, but I try to knock myself off that shit as soon as possible. If I catch myself doing that, shift it, right? But aside from that, and I think I talked about that in the last video, my thoughts are just like fucking right there. They're not up here, they're not down here, they're just doing a little bit right there. The drinking became a consistent thing throughout the summer. I think, then I started paying more attention to politics and what's going on in our world, which before 2020, I never paid. I could give a shit less. I really don't want to pay attention to that shit. But, the recent events, the recent year, whatever, it's like we're forced to look into it a little bit. And if you're not doing that and you're maintaining like the ignorance is bliss state of mind, I envy you because I wish I was there as well. So that's my excuse, right? That my excuse is that all that stuff's going on in my head. And then my mom passes away, right? And so, and that was like right in the beginning of the holidays season. And that's a tough pill to swallow, regardless of what relationship or how the relationship was. And granted, there was better times in the past, and I'm not going to get into that shit. The point is, it was rough, very, very rough. And then weeks after that, a very good friend of mine passed away. So all these things are just like boom, boom, boom. It's a big test from the universe. And I may not have won the battle, but I will win the war. And I am learning from this grieving process. I think in grief there is growth. That being said, I think I'm pretty past most of the grieving. For me, I grieve in like waves, so it'll hit me out of nowhere. And then, initially when mom passed away, I went the first day like not really thinking about it, and then all of a sudden it was like, tears galore all the time for a couple days, or just bouts of it where I would just, whatever. But it's been a while since I've done that. But then I was walking my dog yesterday morning, and on the walk, I just randomly started thinking about some of the good memories from my mom, like, 10 years ago, whatever, 10, 15 years ago. I started thinking about that, and I started tearing up as I'm walking, my dog in the morning. And so apparently I'm not done with the grieving process. I think it is a process that continues. Based on my experience, it doesn't ever go away. It just changes form and comes and goes, apparently. But either way, like, I'm through the bulk of it, and it's time to buckle down and get my shit back together and not allow any anxious feelings from the outside world to influence where my state of mind is. And that outside world could be my immediate outside world of my residence, my rent payment, my bills, my this, my that, or the political climate, which obviously we're in some crazy shit right now with all that. So, it's easy to let these like anxiety waves come in and fuck with you, fuck with me, whatever. I just have to do the things that I know how to battle, and the biggest things there is not watching the news and trying to be off my phone in the morning when I get up. Don't look at it for like an hour or two before bed, same thing. And read and just try to maintain positive thoughts, stay busy, go for my walks, and I'm doing a lot of those things. But I could do better in some places, especially the news thing. I should just stop watching that completely. I'm not stuck to the channel with news, but I do get a dose of it. And I think that everything we put in front of our mind in form of really anything, media especially, it can be influential, to our state of mind. So if you're watching happy shit all the time, then you probably have more of a happy whatever than if you're watching like fucking horror movies and thrillers and suspenseful and anxiety type shit. Or the news, whatever. I'm rambling at this point. I appreciate you guys staying along. And if you are still with me and you're a new subscriber here, I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all my subscribers. I never would have thought that I would have reached over 500 subscribers when I first started this. So it's really cool. And if my words and my life resonate with you or help in any way, then that means the world to me. So again, always feel free to comment. And for those that have been with me for the long haul, as I've said many times before, I am going to push through this. I am going to get where I need to be and at least be on that path consistently and really start reaping the benefits from it. Any day now. Any day now. It's coming. I promise. It's coming. And if you don't believe it, just you wait.
Just you wait in me again. Just you wait. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. Just you wait.